Hello, and thank you for watching Electric City Life videos. Frank Etheridge, editor, appearing off screen to be socially distanced and safe here at the early voting tailgate party in the parking lot of the Columbus Public Library, right across the street from the Citizen Services Center, which is a place to do early voting. I'm here with this event's host, Dr. Rocky R. Marsh. You can introduce yourself and introduce this event, like what and why you're doing it.
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself, have a conversation with you and your audience. My name is Dr. Rocky R. Marsh. I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha and director of the Greeks of Columbus, which is a joint organization of military Greeks, Black Greek-led organizations, Masonic, Prince Hall affiliates, Royal Eastern Stars, and various organizations in the city of Columbus, Georgia. And today, we're out here come together to motivate our community to get out to vote. That is our primary purpose of being out here today.
And I saw the motorcycles roll out earlier. That's what I guess they're calling a votercade.
Yeah, votercade. You know what? This is my first year ever hearing it. I thought it was a great idea. And so if you own a motorcycle, trike, three-wheeler, this was the day you should have brought it out. We have amazing weather for the month of December. The year is about to be out. We're having great weather. And yeah, the bikes came out. And
they were just rolling through neighborhoods, getting awareness up.
Yeah, so they go today. They're going to stop in some parts of the neighborhood. Just remind people to invite them to go vote at whatever of the several early voting locations here in the city.
Well, I think a lot of people this year, because this is done by the Greeks of Columbus organization and a bunch of Greek alumni, and I think a lot of people got hip to how influential and how organized Black sorority alumni or sorority or fraternity when Kamala Harris was nominated. She's the Alpha, AKAs. They did the stroll of the polls. I think a lot of people realized how influential that is. Do you think that's true?
Well, it's all about community ties, and the Greeks of Columbus, just to clarify, is not only it's more of an event series planning organization, not necessarily an organization itself. We do more things that bring people together. So not only do we have the Black Greek-led organization, we are also joined by several military Greek fraternities: Kappa Lambda Chi military fraternity, Kappa Epsilon Psi military sorority, and Sigma Phi Psi military sorority. Those are just three. The city is home to a dozen or more other type of Greek organization profession as well. And we came in here, and yes, but to talk about the relationship, yeah, that is a way for us to network, keep together, and I'm just glad to be part of the oldest of the historical Black Greek fraternities, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
Kamala Harris, the Alpha Kappa Alpha, yes. They're all old and influential as well. They got the headquarters in the historic district down there.
Yeah, and that's our oldest Black Greek-led organization for Black sorority.
Yeah.
So yes, 1908 is their founding year. Very proud of that. Alpha Phi Alpha came out in 1906, and they followed shortly behind in 1908.
Do you think Kamala Harris is being the vice president is like sort of rallied the Greek organization?
Well, I think people are excited about barrier breakers. Anytime there's a first in something, I think that gets people excited. I think her nomination and her elected position excites people who might have something in common from her, especially from her historical Black college to her Greek sorority to people who might look like her. I think her appointment and selection is just exciting.
I know that you're a U.S. Army veteran, and I think obviously you're talking about breaking barriers. A lot of this ties into the civil rights movement, which you could argue the U.S. Army veterans coming out of World War II is really what kickstarted the push for the right to vote, especially here in Columbus, where Primus King was a veteran. Do you have any sense of pride of being an Army veteran and somebody that's, pushing that forward?
Well, I definitely have a sense of being a pride of veteran. I mean, my 20 years, 20 days, 9 hours, 15 minutes, and 11 seconds of service, I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the military. I made some lifelong connections that I still hold to today. The pride comes from having served the community, in this country, in this just this way of life. So to continue that and doing it in civilian capacity, I thoroughly enjoy it. This is just my way of giving back to my community, the same way that I would have done if I was still a uniformed serving.
And today you work at Martin Army Hospital, is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Currently, I'm a DA civilian with the Department of the Army, working on Fort Benning military installation at the Martin Army Community Hospital.
So after this, I'm going to go not too far away to 6th Avenue to Chattahoochee, which is a early voting rally, and it's Republican. And that it's Tommy Tuberville's going to be there. And I'm going to guess, just based on the voting, that this is pretty much mostly Democrat and mostly black. And that one I'm going to go to, I'm going to guess, is mostly white and just about all Republicans. Do you think that these party alignments and things like that, is that a way to divide us, or is that legitimate, like, priorities and policy, difference in priorities
I think
as far as public policy?
People naturally gravitate to ideals and people that look like them or think like them. And it shouldn't be looked at as a way of divisiveness in itself, because people should be allowed to gather and combine their ideas when they think alike. I think it's just when we come together, you have to be willing to listen to someone else who looks like you and thinks like you in order to move forward. Because regardless, like today, even though a lot of people may look alike, we care not how anyone behind me looks like. We care not their party affiliation. We care not how they vote. Our goal today was to generate participation in the community. And that's our main thing. So I hope, and I wish them success in their rally as well. But the goal is just to get as many people out to vote. And I think that's really the end goal. It's not necessarily to get people who think like you, look like you, but to increase our overall participation in the process.
Which is what the American freedom of election is one of the things that you serve for, I imagine. The Army is a beautiful thing. And just a side note is that early voting so far is just Georgia's outpacing what it was even the presidential election. So I think it's going good.
I think so.
Dr. Marsh, I appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate you.
Greetings, y'all. This is Frank Etheridge, Electric City Life editor, and I appreciate you watching this video. I'm here with a very special guest, State Senator Rainey Robertson, who was the organizer today with some others of a rally, a vote early rally that features some pretty big heavy hitters here at the Chattahoochee on 6th Avenue in downtown or uptown Columbus. Senator Robertson, how did you get this event together?
Well, a group of folks in leadership within the Republican Party asked me if I'd be interested in hosting some congressmen here in Columbus, and I said sure, as long as it's the right ones. You know, I wanted individuals that could really connect with our community and how diverse we are as far as not only race and other issues, but culture, even our military culture. Mm-hmm. So when they asked me, when they gave me some names, Dan Crenshaw was an easy pick. And of course, Congressman Drew Ferguson, who represents this district and is really responsible for the job explosion in West Georgia with Kia and a lot of those kind of things. So it just seemed like the perfect thing to have with those two gentlemen here to encourage everybody to get out and vote for the January 5th runoff.
And Congressman Crenshaw is from Texas, but he's pretty well known everywhere. He was a Navy SEAL veteran, and I think from what I hear, he wanted to be a proprietor here instead of the military.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was the reason when I started looking for a space that I thought would fit well with his personality. Chattahoochee Brewery it was the only place I could think that would really marry up well with him and his personality.
You had a long and noteworthy career in law enforcement here in the Muscogee County Sheriff's Department. How are you liking politics?
Well, probably the biggest concern is in law enforcement, we tend to use a lot of logic. And sometimes in politics, I'll be in a room where sometimes I don't find that much logic, and it scares me a little bit. But I think it gives me an advantage from being somebody who had been on the ground with with the people that live in the wealthiest part of our community and the people that live in the absolute worst, impoverished part of our community. So my law enforcement career actually has really enhanced the opportunities that I've had in Atlanta. So I'm really enjoying it.
So as far as all eyes are on Georgia, as they say, what are you hearing from voters, either people here today or just other voters, constituents you have, as far as what they care about this election, the Senate race?
And I think everybody really cares because they see such a great divide between the candidates that we're choosing from. And we've got one side that's very conservative that would bring basically the consistent policies that we've experienced over the last 4 years. And then you have on the other side a couple of candidates that are extremely different and in some cases very, they kind of take a hard left turn away from some of the policies. So I'm picking up a lot of passion from both sides, and I think I'm excited to see everybody excited about getting out and voting.
Are there any particular policies that you're hearing about from the Republican voters that are really important to them this year in this election?
Well, yeah, I think coming out of the pandemic, I think the strong policies I'm hearing out of the Republican side is the ability to get small business people back on their feet and back working. I've noticed our unemployment numbers are starting to tick back up nationwide in those states that have found a good balance between safety and keeping the businesses open. And so I'm excited to keep that continuing. And I think those policies have been positive for the last 8 years, and I'd love to see them continue on.
And you had a big turnout here today. It was standing room only outside. And obviously, they say in runoff elections, turnout is everything. And that was kind of the purpose of the rally today, was sort of get people excited, make sure they're getting out there voting. Do you think they're going to have a high turnout?
I think it's going to be an astronomical turnout, and you're right, Frank. I think the big thing is that we're not going to sway any voters at this point, really, in big numbers. But the biggest thing is to get those that have voted, and even those that have not voted, to get them back out to the polls. And I think we're going to see some huge numbers come January 5th.
You care to give us a prediction on who's going to win January 5th?
Well, I don't do predictions. So the reason I have a beard is because I lost a bet with my wife, so I'm not real good at gambling. But I will tell you this: I think it's going to be a close race. And, and I don't want to forget about our good friend, Lauren McDonald, that's running for PSC too, because that has a huge impact on energy costs in Georgia. And he's a big fan of solar. And so I'm also a big fan of renewable energy. So I don't want to leave him out of the conversation. But I think in the U.S. Senate race, I think it's going to be close. And I'm hoping that those individuals that share the same conservative principles I share when it comes to economic growth and some of the other strong issues that are important to me, I hope they pull it out.
PSC is probably the election that have more impact on people in the state than the national things sometimes. Georgia Power's investments in solar in the past 2 years has been huge.
Oh, absolutely. And the uptick that we've seen throughout Georgia with our electric cities being able to generate more energy, and thankful for some legislation I was honored to write and carry. They're able to bring in jobs with that extra energy that they've created within their county or produced within their county. They're able to sell it to these companies that are hopefully going to a negative carbon footprint within the next 10 or 15 years. So you're absolutely right. PSC position is extremely important to Georgia and the environment in Georgia.
Senator Brandon Robertson gave us a plug for Electric City. We even asked him to do that. Senator, we appreciate your time during the interview.
Hey, thank you, and thank y'all for being a reliable media source here in West Georgia.